First of all, my apologies for this video being not as good in terms of the quality of the video. I am traveling right now, but I still wanted to share this awesome new tool that I've been working with over the last couple of days. I thought I'll share this because it's really nice and I felt that it was worthwhile making a video about this and sharing it with all of you. So let me get right into it. Today we're talking about Boxlight. Now, Boxlight is another one in the domain of AI sandboxes. Now, if you've looked at anything in the AI space of late, you realize that everyone seems to be shipping sandboxes. However, sandboxes come in different types of shapes and sizes. Some of them are commercial, some of them are not. Uh, there are different types of sandboxes, different providers of sandboxes. Uh, I have looked at multiple ones over time, but I had not found something as easy to work with as Boxlight. And Boxlight it's not only just easy to work with, it's also very easy to integrate into multiple different use cases. And the cool thing is that it's open source. So it's really, really nice. Now, without further ado, let me actually explain what Boxlight is. Now, Boxlight is a micro VM sandbox, which means that if you want to run any of your code, it could be AI code, it could be whatever other type of code, you can run it in a micro VM. Now, what is a micro VM? While their documentation is not that great, their diagram kind of gets it pretty decently. So you have your application, your Boxlight runtime, which is an embedded library, and then you have multiple containers running on a hypervisor framework. Now, different hypervisor frameworks, you'll see that you have different hypervisor framework. You have KVM hypervisor framework. It works with all of these different operating systems. I'm using this right now on a Apple Silicon, which is on a Mac, but it works with Linux. It works supposed to work on Windows. I'm not looked at it personally. Now, it uses the cool thing about this is since it's micro VM, you're not dealing with container isolation. Now, container isolation, in my view, is an oxymoron because it's very hard to truly isolate containers. They're all sharing the same kernel, whereas this is a separate VM. And because it's a micro VM, it's much lower in terms of latency than running a full VM. And if you know anything about micro VMs, worked with micro VMs, AWS has a very popular one called Firecracker. Some clouds have already started using it. Fly.io uses it. AWS themselves have used it for Lambdas for a very long time now. The problem with micro VMs historically has been that you have to configure a bunch of stuff to get them to work. And I've always found that to be a very frustrating experience because you have to do a lot of plumbing and engineering to get them to work reliably on a system. And it's always been a pain, especially without an orchestration and so on. But Boxlight has changed all that. In fact, it makes it very easy. It provides a Python SDK. It also provides a Node SDK. It's also, I think, going to come out with a Go SDK pretty soon. And I think it's very easy to use because it has all these different SDKs. The cool thing that I really like about Boxlight is that you can literally just set it up like this, right? You can spin up a new micro VM with a container image, which is an OCI compatible image, which means you can use any other container image that you can use with Docker and so on. Just use that as a micro VM or in your micro VM and execute whatever code you want. So you have different types of code execution boxes that you can use with Boxlight. The first one is a simple box, right? So you have this, you can use a simple box where you can call on a container image and you can run whatever code you want inside that container image, right? That's as simple as that. You can also use this for code AI agents, AI or agentic use cases like this, where you can run something called a code box where it just runs that piece of code. You can install whatever dependencies that code needs and you can run it. This is only for running code in that particular box with those particular dependencies. So that's really powerful as well. One of the other things that I really liked about Boxlight is that you can also run browser automation. So let's say you want to run Playwright or other types of browser automation. You can literally use something called a browser box, which provides its own methods and capabilities, which makes life a lot easier for you to run specific use cases related to, uh, you know, in this case, related to Playwright and browser automation, stuff like that. You can also use this for desktop automation, so on and so forth. You have lots of different things that you can use it for. I really found this is for computer use agents. If you want to use this with Anthropic computer use agents or whatever it is, you can use this just with this capability. I really found this to be really powerful, and because it is so simple, has a Python SDK. I'm a big fan of something that has a Python SDK. It just makes it so much easier for me to integrate into my workflow. So just today, I've built out a very interesting example with Boxlight, and I'll quickly share that with all of you. Now, this example is an agent in Cloud Agent SDK. I'm just going to show you how this works. So let me explain what's happening here. I have an agent. Now, this agent is in Cloud Agent SDK. If you're not familiar with Cloud Agent SDK, please look at one of my other videos. I go into quite a bit of detail on Cloud Agent SDK. Cloud Agent SDK is an SDK framework that helps you use Claude Code to build agents of any type. Right? So that's what Cloud Agent SDK is. So in this case, I'm building an agent using Claude Code that builds a Python Flask application that can perform DNS queries based on user input, and it uses Tailwind and HTML. So it doesn't have a database, it doesn't have all of that stuff. Just builds it, runs it on port 5005. That's the idea here. Nothing fancy, just builds this simple Python application and runs it on port 5005. This is the agent, right? So this is not the important part. The real important part is how I'm running the agent. I'm not running the agent on my local machine. I'm going to use Boxlight, right? So Boxlight allows me to create a micro VM for this particular agent, right? So it's going to copy the files that are needed for this agent, which is the myagent.py, the environment variables that I need, the dependencies that this agent needs, into a micro VM running this particular container image, which is a Debian Python image. It's running at 4 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of hard drive, 2 CPUs, and it's opening up port 5005, just like you would run any other Docker container, right? You want to bridge the network. Of course, it's not bridging, you're using host networking, and that's what it's doing. It's installing. So you'll see that it's basically running, you're creating like a Docker file here, but you're doing it in Python. So you're declaring the Docker file, writing it in Python, writing all the instructions, apt-get update, installing all the necessary dependencies, copying all the files, and then installing the Python dependencies, copying the environment variables, then running the application, and installing Claude Code, installing whatever else you need for the agent to run. And then finally, you are running the application. You are installing the dependencies here, and you are running the application. That's basically what you're doing. And once the application is run, it's going to wait. It's going to actually go into something called interactive mode. It's going to run the agent and go into interactive shell, which gives me an actual interactive shell that I can interact with the micro VM and run it. So this is really, really powerful stuff. Let me show you how this works. I will pause the video in a couple of places where things are going slow, but that just is to ensure that we're not wasting anybody's time. So when I run this command, run this Python program, it's going to build the Boxlight micro VM. This is really that simple. Just going to build the Boxlight micro VM, and it's going to install Node, it's going to install other things. I could have obviously made this image a lot more optimized, but I'm just doing this for testing. So you should consider doing that if you're actually considering using this. And this also has a CLI, although I have not quite figured out how to use that yet. You can use all of the SDK functions to be able to query box.id and box.status and all of that stuff. It does not show up in your Docker PS, so which means that that image is not a Docker container, so to speak, because it's running inside a micro VM. So it uses your hypervisor framework to containerize something and run that container inside a VM, right? Which is why the latency in terms of instructions is very limited. So that's what's happening in this particular case. So just waiting for this. I'm going to pause this video real quick and come back when it has something. So I'm just quickly showing what it's doing. It's installed all the dependencies. It's installed Node. It's installing UV now. Then it's going to install Claude Code. It's going to install all the dependencies. You can see now it's pulling up Claude Code. installing that, installing the Python dependencies, and very soon it's going to start running the agent, which is going to start building my example Python app that I wanted it to build, which is a DNS query app, right? Now this DNS query app should be built. Now it's still installing the Python dependencies. And the thing which you can do is you can use an existing box and just rerun that with your code if you want to. So I think there's some level of reusability, although I have not personally used that yet. There is some level of reusability that you can do with Boxlight, where you can query the boxes that you have and to reuse something that you already have. They also have some pretty decent examples. Documentation with Boxlight is a little sparse. I think it's still relatively new, but it looks very, very positive, especially because of the micro VM aspect and the low latency when it comes to working with this, and the fact that you can easily do all this with native Python functions or Node, I mean JavaScript functions, or I think Go or Rust functions. Right. Now, all the Python dependencies are installed. You'll see that it's installed Cloud Code. It sees the box ID that she's querying here. We're using Python 3.13, which is a Debian-based system. Now you'll see that it's actually running my agent. So it's actually running a Cloud Code agent in a micro VM without the blast radius that I have to deal with if it was running on my local machine. So things like deleting something and stuff like that, I don't need to worry about it at all because it's running in a micro VM. In fact, if I have an orchestrator system here, and I orchestrated on some remote machine, it's even easier, becomes much more powerful in that sense. And so it's creating the project, it's installing. It should take very little time because it's a very simple application. And if all goes well, very shortly, I should have a Python application that I can interact with over the browser on port 5005, because that's the instruction I mentioned in my agent that, hey, I want you to build it and make it available on port 5005 on all interfaces. So use the appropriate command to install all the dependencies. That's it. I don't want it to do anything else. I just want it to run the app and be available. So now the app is actually running. You can see that it built the app. The app is actually running, should be running. And let's actually go and verify whether that's the case or not. So if I go to localhost 5005, my app is running just fine. So if I query some DNS records, something, it should give me the results. And all this was built with an agent that's running inside a micro VM, not interacting with my machine. Not, of course, it is interacting with my machine. It's running inside my hypervisor, but really not as bad as it would be if the agent potentially ran inside my system and was compromised in some way, shape, or form. So this is something that I found really powerful. I wanted to share it with all of you. I hope you find this content useful. If you like it, please do like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps out. Thank you so much.